The four core traits of highly successful people are strong goal clarity, high achievement drive, healthy emotional intelligence, and excellent social skills. My name is Wayne Grund. The four core traits of highly successful people separate the successful from highly successful. Number one, strong goal clarity. That's the ability to define and reach higher goals. They're driven by a deep emotional need to succeed. One of the things when we identify goal clarity is we identify the need to be able to identify the goal we want without identifying where we're at right now. But backstep for a second, because once you identified where you want to be in your business, in your life, then you identify where you are. Because if you identify where you are first, it will limit where you set your goals. Where you are is very important. Now, when we take a look at the salon industry, which has been my home for 40 plus years, and in manufacturing with Surface, we take a look at there's the ways we serve our guests. So when we set our goal, we identify what are the activities we need to be able to achieve the goal. In the salon industry, you need the guest in your chair. Then at that point, we need the ability to recognize their needs and serve them. First of all, brass tacks. You go to a restaurant. You can have the possibility of the appetizer. You can have a before dinner drink. You can have your salad. You can have your soup. You can have your meal. You can have your dessert. You can have your beverage during your meal. There's many different options. And I'll venture to guess that the best experiences of meals you may have had is the ones where people present an experience of all the options. So back to the salon industry for a second. We take a look at the basics of cut, color, finish, texture. But then let's take a look at the real service. The cut may include a scalp facial if you have any thinning or scalp itchy troubles, dry scalp challenges. It may include a moisture bake. It may include a thinning hair treatment. It may include a volume treatment. At Surface, we provide you with some of these answers, the curls, the trinity and such. But let's go again back just to the service. Just think service. What are the opportunities? So then at the color, we've got opportunities to include the different techniques to improve that experience. And then we have the finish. And ultimately, we have in the service to the home care. But let's separate that for a second. So if I have my goal, I want to be able to achieve it. I know I need my guest. I know I need to go beyond the basics. So if I have my scalp facial, the Awaken, I have my Trinity volume repair, I have my curls, maximum moisture bake. Those are some of the things. And then when I take a look at my hair care, well, I know what you use, shampoo, conditioner, you'll use your leave-in conditioner. And then take a look at styling. Wet styling product, your dry detailing product, your hold product, your dry shampoo. Again, it's the complete experience. So if I set this goal here in my business, for example, and I identify where I'm at right now, the services I'm providing, what I need to do at that point is I need to close the gap. So goal clarity comes quite simply down to the people, the number in my chair in my day. And please realize no one can put your day in a definition except for you. How many hours are you going to provide? The world's about time. Time is something you don't get back. So if you set your goal of what you want to achieve, you then need to, you need to mirror the amount of time that you'll commit to achieving it. Within that time, how do I make my time value? It's providing the services. So I have strong goal clarity, defining it again, the ability to define and reach higher goals, driven by a deep emotional need to succeed, but please be aware of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage are the 6 emotions that are triggered when you set a goal. If you can make it through all 6. The first emotion is excitement. I cannot wait to achieve this. The next one, immediately one of the little voices in our mind has conflict. Oh my goodness, if you're going to do that, you need to work these many hours. Oh, and then we judge ourselves. You've never been good at presenting other options to guests. And mentally I have conflict. Then I have doubt. I don't know if I can really do it. And then, I got to change the way I work. So while you're thinking this way, I cross my arms one way all of my life. If I put the other arm on top, it feels different. So I have initial excitement after I goal, and then I talk myself out of it. Conflict, doubt, resistance to change. But now that you're aware of it, number 5 is where you commit to overcoming the conflict, overcoming the doubt, and overcoming the resistance to change. And number 6, accept your goal. So mentally having the strength to be able to accept what my goal is and not allowing any excuses to talk me out of it. So after goal clarity, and by the way, that becomes a trigger for number 2 of highly successful people, is achievement drive. That's the energy released from goal clarity. It grows with belief and self-image. Being able to identify that you are worth it. I can do it. And by the way, you know if you're lying because you know if you're going to put in the work effort. You know if you're going to put in the studying to gain the knowledge. You know when you're worth it because you put into it to get out of it. You see, achievement drive multiplies skills, knowledge, and abilities. Let's take a look right now at the power of achievement drive. Achievement drive is a multiplier of your knowledge, skills, experience, and education. So if you were to rate yourself 1 low, 10 high on knowledge, give yourself a rating. Let's say a 10. Skills, 10. Experience, 10. Education, 10. Now that would total to 40. But achievement drive, if you're a 10 in the passion in which you work and you live, that's a multiplier. So 10 times the total of the other 40 is a 400 success power. It multiplies. But please realize this, that achievement drive is only maximized when you have goal clarity. When you have goal clarity and you see where you want to be within the world, you have the achievement drive to close the gap. And there's no talking yourself out of it. Number 3 is emotional intelligence. To understand your emotions, your behaviors, to truly be honest with yourself. And I believe when many people are young, you heard the same saying I did, and that was that if you don't have something good to say about someone, don't say it. Well, you know what we should have learned first? If you don't have something good to say about yourself, don't say it. But at the exact same time, be honest with yourself. Be positive with yourself, but understand your emotions and don't make excuses for you. If you were to reach inside yourself, pull out your inner being, set them down, would you understand their emotions? And you see, the emotional intelligence comes to the inner discipline, which is the power to do what you have to do. Walt Disney summed it up very easily in a statement, called it stick-to-it-ativity. Being able to have the mental strength never to judge other people, but to understand the emotions that are driving them and they're expressing. To understand how you're thinking. Take a minute to step back and talk to yourself. It's an okay thing. Ask yourself, why do I feel the way I do? What's causing that? How do I want to feel? So if I have goal clarity and if I have that strong achievement drive and now I have strong emotional intelligence, that leads us to the 4th core trait of highly successful people, which is excellent social skills. Social skills is all about asking the right questions and listening. It is said to identify high levels of social skills that a person will spend 75% of their time listening, 15% of their time asking questions, and 10% talking. I hope I still have your attention here because I really want you to focus on me right now. Ask yourself, do you spend your day connecting with a 75% listening ratio? The only way that you would be able to do that, especially in our salon industry, would be if you ask the right questions. Because if you ask relevant questions, it has people talk. And the more they talk, the more you can learn. The ultimate thing in communication is I want to learn. Stephen Covey said it the best. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. So my goal is to spend 75% of my time listening, 15% asking questions, and 10% talking. That doesn't mean it's quiet time. It means I learn to ask great questions to discover about others and their needs. The more I know about my guests' needs, the more I can fill them at all levels that we identified earlier. You see, in excellent social skills, it ties into also behavior styles. Because when we can identify a behavior style, we can adjust to them. Now, What that means is being able to understand the unspoken word of the people you're around, their facial gestures, their body movements, and understanding to communicate effectively. I need to identify the different levels of listening. Let's identify the 4 core levels of listening. Number 1, you're ignoring. Your mind is in a different place. Number 2 is selective. You hear what you want to hear. Number 3 is the area that catches most people. They're active listeners. You see, the challenge with an active listener is you're allowing the subconscious, the little voices in your mind, to actively think of other things and make judgments while you're listening. For example, if someone is speaking to you and you're already thinking of what you're going to reply, you're really not listening to them. What you're doing is thinking about what you're going to say. You know you're in a conversation if somebody's an active listener, which means they think more of themselves and their needs than others. Bottom line, I'm just telling you what it is. Because they'll start many sentences like, do you know what I think? Oh, do you know what you need? You see, they're already thinking about what they're going to respond to you with. A higher level of listening is empathic listening, and that's the ability to see and to feel with others' eyes. Empathic listening, and I'll share some keys with you, ties tightly to reflective listening. When you're listening, to be able to tune the world out, tune people in, gain that eye contact with them, and simply even add a nod so people know you're listening. In the salon, I highly recommend when you're discovering with a guest to write notes down with that. And then the power of the statement, let me see if I understand you correctly. What I understand is. Doesn't mean you're totally agreeing with that individual. It means that you're understanding them and they can correct you if need be. The 4 core traits of highly successful people, as we've shared, are strong goal clarity, high achievement drive, healthy emotional intelligence, and excellent social skills. Those core traits of highly successful people is what put a category of individuals in the top 5% of any field that they're in. I believe in living my life with awareness, responsibility, and process. You can only control that which you're aware of. That which you're unaware of controls you. When you accept responsibility for your thoughts and your actions, your commitment to them rises, and so does your performance. Quite simply, living a life, if it is to be, it's up to me. And the process is the actions that you take or you don't take on a daily basis. Now, when we take a look at those core traits of highly successful people, and we combine them with the surface 5 keys of success of a stylist of getting your chair full, communicating effectively, doing great work, make sure your guests can take care of their hair at home, and ultimately wowing them, keeping coming back. And by the way, for any other business watching, those are the 5 core traits for your business. You need people. You need to communicate with people. You need to give them a great service, something that will last with it, and being able to have a wow factor tied to it. The 4 core traits of highly successful people are the core traits of the top 5% in any industry. Together, I believe we can leave the earth a better place than we found it. But to do that, we need to be able to work together. And I wish you all the success in the world, and I wish you the complete mastering of the core traits of highly successful people. Wayne Grund, have a great day.